Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 2498, and today's date is May 30th, 2021, and the title of the episode is Central Bank Knows What's Happening. That's why they started to hide the data. Let's talk about being prepared. If this summer is anything like last summer, then record-breaking temperatures are on the way. Cities around the world are going to experience the hottest summers ever on record. And a good way to prepare for this is a mini air conditioner. You can put it anywhere. This air conditioner is a convenient 2-in-1 highly versatile air cooler that also serves as a humidifier. Easy Summer Cool is going to give everyone 50% off plus a 30-day money-back guarantee on their own mini AC unit. Go to easysummercool.com or click the link in the description. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, the private Western Central Bank, they've been trying everything to regain control because they knew that their system would not last for a certain period of time. And that's usually around 45 to 50 years, and the whole thing starts to collapse. And what happened was they had everything planned out, everything ready to go. Then Trump stepped into the picture, and this blocked their entire plan. And it completely messed their plan up. And I do believe that the Patriots did this on purpose so people could see the truth of what they're trying to do. Because with an event, with some type of crisis, people would be too busy worrying about that. If there was a war, people wouldn't care. They would just want something in place to rebuild. If this pandemic continued on and it lasted 5 years or so, people wouldn't care. They would just want it over with. But since none of these things happen, since the people can see everything, the central bankers, they're in a tough spot. So is the deep state. They're all part of the same system. And everything that they're trying to do right now is not going the way they thought. Remember, when people are in a crisis and they're very, very busy with the ongoing events, they can push their policies. People will just say, go ahead, do whatever you want. We don't care. Now, since the pandemic has been countered, the wars have been countered, it's a little bit tougher. People now say, you know what? We don't want to go along with this. Countries' leaders saying we don't want to go along with this. Look what's happening out in Switzerland. Now, the EU and Switzerland, they've been talking about this trade deal for quite a while now. And, of course, what is the EU trying to do? This is part of the deep state, private Western Central Bank. They want Switzerland to agree to free movement migration. And this is within the deal. Now, Switzerland, for a very long time, they said, no, we don't want this. This is not something that we're looking for. So the trade talks between Europe, the European Union, and Switzerland, they've collapsed as a result of the demands that they're putting on to the Swiss. They want this free movement migration. Remember, they're trying to blend the earth. They don't want countries with an identity, people with an identity. They want history wiped out. See, this is all part of their New World agenda or their Great Reset, where they want to usher in their climate change agenda to go along with the Great Reset. And they want a one world government where non-elected people are in control. But today, countries, since the country is not devastated, since it's not collapsing, since there was no war, since the pandemic has been countered, the people of these countries are saying, you know something, we don't agree with this. We don't want to go along with this. Actually, India is saying, listen, we're not going to do what you want with the green agenda. John Kerry was over there talking to India's leader, and they were saying, no way, we're not following along with this. They're having a very difficult time trying to push their agenda right now. Now, what's very interesting, we know that the private Western Central Bank and the fake news, they were out there reporting on how inflation's going to be transient. It's not going to last too long. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Don't even worry about it. But when Congress was questioning Janet Yellen, she gave them a completely different answer. She said, my judgment right now is the recent inflation we've seen will be temporary. It's not something that's endemic. I expect it to last, however, for several more months and to see high annual rates of inflation through the end of this year. So she already moved the goalposts, and it's no longer just transitory, that it might last until the end of the year. Now, as we approach the end of the year, what do you think she's going to do? She's going to say, well, it might go into next year, and this is what they continue to do. They give you everything that you want to hear, that there's going to be no inflation, and then they move the goalpost a little bit, move it a little bit more, move it a little bit more. And by the end, we're in trouble. We know there's going to be inflation. We know because we see the prices of things going up. Actually, we see the devaluation of the dollar. Now, Charlie Kirk, he tweeted this out, but we mentioned these things before, but let's go over it one more time. He said April 2020 under Trump, $304 per 1,000 foot of lumber, $183 per ton of wheat, $39 per ton of coal, $3.43 per bushel of corn, $1.95 per gallon of gas. April 2021 under Biden. Now remember, Trump was $304 for 1,000 foot of lumber. Biden's at $1,500 now. Under Trump, it was $183 per ton of wheat. Now it's up to $251. $80 per ton of coal. That's under Biden. Under Trump, it was $39. $6.86 per bushel of corn. That's under Biden. Under Trump, it was $3.43. $3.05 a gallon of gas. Under Trump, it was $1.95. Under this, he says, building back better. And we can see this is not building back better. Actually, this is doing exactly what the private one central bank, the deep state, wants. They want the entire economic system falling apart. Now, remember, they wanted this when they had the pandemic, and it was going to last a long time. There was going to be no vaccine for a very long time. So the entire world economy would implode. Let's talk about being prepared. If this summer is anything like last summer, then record-breaking temperatures are on the way. Cities around the world are going to experience the hottest summers ever on record. And a good way to prepare for this is a mini air conditioner. You can put it anywhere. This air conditioner is a convenient 2-in-1 highly versatile air cooler that also serves as a humidifier. Easy Summer Cool is going to give everyone 50% off plus a 30-day money-back guarantee on their own mini AC unit. Go to easysummercool.com or click the link in the description. But since they put everything into motion, they just can't stop it. They have to continue it. Does that mean they're going to come up with some other event? Maybe, maybe not. But we know that Trump and the Patriots, they knew the playbook of the private wasn't central bankers and the deep state. Sometimes you need to show the people the truth. Sometimes, instead of just explaining to them, hey, listen, there's going to be a great reset. This is what they want to do with climate change. Sometimes the people have to experience all of it to bring them to that precipice. So they say, you know something, I don't want to pay $10 per gallon. I don't want to pay, $700 per ton of wheat, and so forth and so on. Because if these prices move up, which means it's the devaluation of the Federal Reserve note, that means other things are going to go up because it always reflects on energy. So when we look at this, if wheat is going up and coal's going up and corn is going up, you're going to see other things start to move up. And they won't be able to stop it. Now, Trump and the Patriots, I do believe they knew this. Now the people can see it clearly. Yes, Trump said it during the debates that Biden's economy was going to be absolutely awful. But a lot of people said, nah, that's just ridiculous. He's just saying that because he just wants to win an election. But remember, Trump is not a politician. He's a businessman. He runs multi-million, billion-dollar businesses, and he knows what a default looks like. He knows how to restructure, and he knows how to build things from scratch. Biden's been in politics for 47 years. He knows how to do one thing. Lie. Tell the people what they want to hear, and actually have the opposite happen. And that's what we see happening. But the private West Central Bank, they've always known that the system was going to completely implode on itself in the very, very end. And the system that we're in is the Keynesian economy. And it's an economy that they created. It only lasts a certain period of time, then it implodes. Now remember, the Federal Reserve, they discontinued updating M1 and M2 weekly money supply series. Instead, they're doing it monthly. But Chairman Powell, he has stated that he no longer regards that the quantity of money is relevant. He stated that the practice of measuring money no longer matters because it's unrelated to inflation. Now that's very interesting. So think about this for a second. So the M1, M2 weekly measurement has been changed to monthly, where they're going to take averages. Yes, you can still find the data on their site, but they're just not going to present it in the same way. Now we have Janet Yellen telling us that, oh, we might see inflation move to the end of the year, and we know what's going to happen because they continually move goalposts. They will move the goalpost once again because as more of this currency that's in circulation, what happens? Well, it devalues the Federal Reserve note. Now, without showing this and showing people the weekly part of it, are they trying to keep confidence up? Because once people lose confidence in the currency, that's when things start to really fall apart. And when people start to lose confidence and they see a lot of currency in circulation, what happens? People move their currency into something else. Let's go back to the 70s. When other countries saw that the United States was printing a lot more Federal Reserve notes than we had gold, what did the countries start to do? They started to demand their gold back. They were losing confidence. I do believe the same thing is happening now. And this is why the private Western Central Bank is going after precious metals. This is why they're going after crypto, because they're trying to maintain what they have right now. And when investors, the financial people, start to lose confidence, it will then trickle down to the rest of the people. That's when we're going to see things really start to fall apart. And I think what the central bankers are trying to do right now is they're trying to basically try to control what's coming by pushing people in different directions. And we can see right now, gold is continually moving up. I wouldn't be surprised if they push it back down. They always seem to do this when it reaches a certain point, and they try to push it as far down as possible. I do believe that cryptos are going to continue to move up. Yes, they're going to try to push those down with information because their system is falling apart. If their system's falling apart, they don't want people thinking about any other currency. Because once people start to lose confidence, once people start to see what's happening, and people start to move, let's say, into precious metals, gold, silver, great store of wealth. If people decide to diversify and say, I'm going to put part of it in crypto, part of it in gold and silver, it hurts the central bankers. Remember, their currency is fiat. They want everyone moving into digital. And I do believe they're preparing and getting ready to hide a lot more because we can see already with Janet Yellen telling us we're going to the end of the year now, we might see, more inflation than they actually said in the beginning. I think it's going to get a lot worse as time goes on, and they're going to keep moving the goalposts. The central bankers, they know what's going on. They know that their system dies at the end. They know they can kick the can down the road for a short period of time, and then the whole thing starts just to unravel. And I do believe that's the stage we're in right now. They planned for a war. It was countered. They planned to have this pandemic go for a very long time. It was countered. Now they're left exposed, and they're trying to figure a way out of this. Now, does this mean they won't try another event? No, they probably will. But I do believe that will be countered too. Because each time these things happen, more and more people wake up, and more people are losing confidence in their system. Countries are already pushing back, just like we saw with Switzerland, just like we see with India. And many other countries are going to pushing back. They're not getting their way. They're losing the narrative. And I believe they're going to lose in the end, and the people are going to win. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.